Hello again everyone, welcome to today's video. I'm pretty sure most people who are artists and have ever been a fan of the Pokemon franchise have drawn gijinkas / humanizations of them. I know I sure have. My favourite ones to turn into humans were the Eeveelutions. I sadly couldn't find any drawings from when I was really young, however I do have two designs I drew a few years ago which you can find on my channel. I got inspired by Delightful's Eeveelution series, and this is pretty much what led to me trying to make my own versions, and recently Ginger Ninja's videos, they're fantastic as well. I always kind of started with my favorite, which is Sylveon. I'd maybe get on to like one or two more designs after that, and then this is pretty much where I'd give up because I only had ideas for Sylveon, none for the rest. Yeah. Anyway, this time is different, however. In this video, I will be drawing Eevee plus Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Flareon. My little twist to help me get through all of the designs is to make them all Pokemon trainers who have their respective Eeveelution as their partner Pokemon. So kind of like those owners and their dogs look alike. Starting off, as always, we gotta figure out the design. My interpretation of Eevee has always been a young boy, so that's where we're gonna start. I plonked Eevee into the middle of a blank Mii note board and surrounded him with images as I was brainstorming. These three characters here were the base inspirations for Eevee's human design. Did I tell you their names? No, but I will be stealing elements from their designs. First draft of Eevee. Woo! He's very cute. I like him. I think it's a good starting off point. When I finished this design, however, I thought it would be the final one, but I ended up giving up on this video for a few months. Then came back to it with some fresh ideas. I did try to make this design here work, but I just wasn't vibing with it. I needed his hood to be bigger and fluffier.
Just ask quick, Mom.
Open it for me. What? Where's this? Okay. Perfect. As I always seem to do, I continued my design work in my sketchbook. I just have an easier time jotting down my ideas traditionally. I don't think there were a lot of major changes to the final design. Mostly it's just improvements in my style. But the only really noticeable thing I think is the hair. I think this simple change really helps him fit in line with Pokemon design conventions. In a lot of official artworks of Pokemon trainers, and in the game itself, obviously, there's always something unique about the hair. Like 9 times out of 10, this character has got something going on in their hair. A really funny example for this is Swordbird and Shieldbird, I think it is. Their hair are literal swords and shields. Like, that's freaking crazy. Anyway, moving on. I had a pretty clear idea of what I wanted for all the cool illustrations, which show off all the finished designs in their full glory. I took inspirations from these sick-ass official arts. Didn't go as all out as these because I've got like 9 designs to do, but for Evan, I want him and Eevee to be in a playful, ready for battle pose.
Are you sure?
Because I sort of imagine him as either the player character or the player character's rival. The rest of the Eeveelutions are probably going to be gym leaders. For the pose, I had to make sure his main features were on display, like his big, fluffy hoodie and his spiky fringe. It was also very important to me to make sure it looked like Eevee and Evan were / on the same plane of existence, since it's just a white background. The rest is pretty standard. Did some basic shading, somewhat tried to copy the Pokemon art style, but not entirely. Kept my own chai tea flair. But But as for Evan as a character, I want him to be going on some sort of journey of self-discovery. As I'm sure you all know, Eevee is known for its different evolutions. I mean, we've got a whole video about it here, but this maybe means Evan is going about trying to decide what he wants for his Eevee and for his decision on what he potentially wants his Eevee to evolve into. But in the end, I reckon he'd give his Eevee a Forever Stone because he loves him just the way he is already. Vaporeon, the water-type Eeveelution. My only real ideas I had for this trainer was 1, she's going to be a girl, and the original 3 Eeveelutions will be sisters. And second of all, her thing has got to be some sort of water-related activity. Leaning towards a sport, because I might make the OG Trio's gimmick be that they're all sport-related. When planning out the design, I went with this in mind. I thought a swimsuit would be a simple but effective way to show that she likes to be in and around the water. I tried out shorts and a sheer like cardigan thingy over the top of her swimsuit, just to try and give more volume to the design, but these things don't stay unfortunately. To incorporate the tail and the scales on Vaporeon's back, I thought a big long braid would be best, and I gave her V-like bangs to incorporate the little crest thingy on Vaporeon's head. The little ahoge is also meant to represent the fins. I tried adding in a yellow ribbon, twisting through her braid to try and get some yellow up onto her head as well, like the fins too. Honestly, I totally forgot to look at these sketches in my sketchbook when working on the final design. I kind of hate how the final drawing looks now design wise, but this video has taken way too long to get out, so I'm keeping the ugly design in this video, and I will post a cool updated version on my Instagram. Curse my pancreas for sending me into hospital not once, but twice while trying to make this video. Good lord. Anyway, as you can see, I begin by trying to rough out a pose. This is where I basically firmly decide that the sport trainer Vaporeon will be doing is surfing. Maybe there's an activity you will have to complete at her gym, like the surfing activity in Sun and Moon. Try to incorporate something at her waist, but pose didn't really work, so I just left the outfit as a plain swimsuit. As sketching went on, I kind of decided that Trainer Vaporeon could also maybe be like a lifeguard or a coach, as well as being a gym leader, you know, give her something outside of that job. This is represented by the little whistle around her neck. This is another failed thing. This was meant to be a water stone originally, to show the evolution method that each evolution has, but it wasn't working around her neck or on her wrist, so I just gave up. Coloring was straightforward. It was just different shades of blue for her hair and swimsuit with some little yellow accents on the lanyard around her neck and the shoes. I really wish I'd put more effort into the swimsuit's design and everything else, but sometimes not every design is going to go well. Despite the obvious dislike for the outfit, I love this drawing. I think the pose is really cute and dynamic, and it shows off the sweet and playful relationship between this trainer and her beloved partner. These two definitely make the swimming pool a great time, and I bet they'd have lots of little activities planned, just lots of cool things. I'm not sure, maybe you guys can leave some suggestions in the comments. Jolteon, the electric type Eeveelution. I was looking through one of my canvases on Clip Studio that I use as a digital sketchbook, and I saw this drawing of my human Rainbow Dash design. I pondered and I looked at photos of Jolteon. And I thought of my other inspirations for the Jolteon trainer design, and it was like they all just fused together in my mind, and I needed to get her onto paper immediately. Jolteon's hairstyle came to me because of this little tuft at the top of Jolteon's head. I thought that pulling her fringe back into a ponytail and having little fluffy bits on the side could mimic, obviously, the little tuft, but also the ears too. That's my thought process behind it anyway. Her sport was also pretty straightforward to think of. Jolteon is an electric type. They're an energetic Pokemon and they run pretty fast, so it made sense to make her a runner. Best course of action was to put her in sports clothes. So I just looked at women's running clothes on Pinterest and bada bing, bada boom. For the pose, I thought it'd be cute to make the Jolteons race each other. Pokemon Jolteon definitely always wins, but Trainer Jolteon is still gonna try her darndest. I was really struggling to draw Pokemon Jolteon in this running pose. However, you can see me tracing a reference image at one point, but it still didn't go too well because I don't draw animals too often. And I was trying to make this like too realistic because I have a hard time stylizing animals. But recently I drew this little drawing over here, and this just flicked the switch in my brain, and afterwards I think you could see me lock in, and the only way I could see to fit in Jolteon's spiky net fluff would be to just make it a pattern on the tracksuit hoodie. Oh, I also forgot to mention that Jolteon's eyebrows are meant to be like a lightning bolt. I love big bushy eyebrows. Anyway, there's nothing much more interesting to talk about with the design. The colours were pretty straightforward since Jolteon is just yellow, white, and a hint of purple in the eyes. I did actually incorporate more purple into Trainer Jolteon just to not make her look like the yellow hat man from Curious George. That's this little dynamic duo all finished. I am pleasantly surprised with how much I like Trainer Jolteon's design, considering she's my least favourite Eeveelution. This has made me learn to love and appreciate her a little more, however. Little lore section now. When Jolteon is in gym leader mode, I imagine she's one of the hardest to beat. She and her Jolteon definitely like to be the best, and they know they are the best. They're like, I would imagine that their gym is probably one of the last, maybe even Elite Four members, who knows. They probably wouldn't take too kindly to Evan's victory. They are sore losers. Last but certainly not least, Flareon, the fire type evolution. For Flareon, I had very little ideas for what sport to center her around. Vaporeon and Jolteon were pretty straightforward. Water has a bunch of sports to pick from, with swimming being the most obvious, and Jolteon is a very energetic Pokemon, so making her a runner also just made sense. But there was nothing that stood out to me for Flareon. There's no fire related sport other than maybe like whatever they do in the Lilo Stitch movie, like juggling fire. So I had to try and find other things that kind of related and kind of made sense. I was thinking of sports that are played in hot climates, so I had to look for Google for anything specific. Most of it was just water related because that's what you do to cool off in the summer. And then there was also things like cricket, baseball, and tennis, and golf. None of these are sparking any ideas. Rugby? That could work. It doesn't entirely have anything to do with fire, but just imagine. Big beefy lady with big fluffy hair. I love myself a gentle giant, so that's exactly what we're going to make Flareon. A lot of sports outfits are quite similar, so I'm going to make sure to take reference from specifically rugby girls. She was really easy to come up with face-wise. I wanted something round with a double chin. I don't draw a lot of faces, so it's good to expand my horizons, and she looks all the cuter for it. I took a lot of reference from specifically like bigger rugby girls. I made sure to look up a lot of photos just so I got like the body type accurately. I also decided to combine Flareon's head tuft of hair and her tail, make this tied up ponytail with a shaped sides look. For the pose, I originally thought of having her sit down after practice with her Flareon laying beside her, but I decided to keep it in line with all the other drawings. These guys here are all in motion, but they're all pretty energetic, so I wanted to make Flareon's pose a little bit more laid back as she's just finished up a rugby game and they're both probably pretty tired. She was going to be carrying a bag originally, but I couldn't make it work with her pose. I actually may add it in once I post the drawing on Instagram because I feel it might add a little bit more to the piece and make her seem a little bit more expressive. I'm not sure. Some little details I added to the piece was some tape covering an earring on Flareon's ear, and the number on her shirt is actually Flareon's Pokédex number. Colouring was pretty straightforward. Like with all the other designs, I just used colours that were already in Flareon's colour palette. I used some different shades of blue, however, to break up the orange sections so it wasn't monotone. I want to keep the designs varied. Then for the design on her shirt, it's just a flame. If you couldn't tell, I feel like I was running out of steam by this point, but we do still need to get her done, and it's perfect timing because that's her all finished. In this hypothetical story, I would have our Flareon girl be either the first or second in the gym leader order. Flareon's a gentle giant, but she won't go easy on you. Her fight may be difficult if you don't pick a water starter, since I'm pretty sure a lot of like the Route 1 Pokemon you get are bugs or normal types. Depends on the game, I suppose. Anyway, that's it for today's video. This video may have taken almost a year to make because I had such a horrible year last year. However, I'm so proud of the work me and my boyfriend have put into this one. I definitely want to continue this series if you guys enjoy it. I was thinking of doing Umbreon and Espeon next, as I feel 5 in 1 may be pushing it if we want to get video out a bit sooner. I'd also love for you guys to leave name suggestions for Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Flareon in the comments below, and I'll make sure to announce their new names in the next video. You can also tell me who your favourite is. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions, and if there's anything I can improve for any of their designs, since I'm willing to make changes. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye!